are both back to sleeping through the whole night. The best sleep we've ever had, that could be you. If you struggle with restless nights like I did, take the time to see how Avid can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your life and your nights a whole lot better, go to avidknows.com, schedule an appointment today. Because Avid knows, when you breathe well, you live better.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 101, it is 41 degrees and sunny on our way up to 47. Clouds could roll in a little bit later on, but plenty of sun throughout the course of the day. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, I'm Greg Matzik in Milwaukee.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Milwaukee police released the body cam footage from an officer-involved shooting early March that left one person dead. Officers responded to an afternoon call of two people trying to enter a business near 32nd and Villard on Milwaukee's northwest side. They later located the suspects near 37th and Lancaster along the train tracks. A 41-year-old man was killed by an officer. A 34-year-old man was arrested and treated for injuries. Some top administration officials are being grilled over a group chat involving the March 15th U.S. attack on Houthi rebels in Yemen.
Colorado Democratic Senator Michael Bennet asked CIA Director John Ratcliffe how the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic magazine was added to that group chat.
Did he invite himself to the signal thread?
I don't know how he was invited.
Bennett couldn't believe his ears.
This sloppiness, this incompetence, this disrespect for our intelligence agencies and the personnel who work for them is entirely unacceptable. It's an embarrassment.
The group chat discussed attack timing, targets, and weapons. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Well, today is Medal of Honor Day, recognizing the United States Armed Forces' highest military decoration, and a new museum in Arlington, Texas is opening its doors for the first time. President and CEO of the National Medal of Honor Museum, Chris Cassidy, tells WTMJ.
It's inspirational, I think, for others. I mean, clearly the meaning for recipients, and they all say that it's harder to wear than it is to earn, because there's like this sense of, well, how come I'm getting it, and the guys that didn't come back had just as much valor on the battlefield as I did.
Criteria for giving the Medal of Honor is an act on the battlefield witnessed by at least two people. The award can sometimes take years to be approved. And the University of Wisconsin has a new women's head basketball coach. Her name is Robin Pinkston.
Pinkston spent the previous 15 seasons leading the University of Missouri to a 250-218 record. Her last appearance in the NCAA tournament with the Tigers was in the 2018-19 season. The hire comes after the resignation of Wisconsin head coach Marissa Mosley following a 13-17 campaign. The Badger women have not made the NCAA tournament since their first-round exit in 2010 and have recorded 14 straight losing seasons. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. Modest movement here on the indices, with the Dow currently down about 40 points at 42,541. NASDAQ is up about 40 points at 18,230. S&P 500 bouncing back and forth, up less than a point at 5768. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite, financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:04.
Hey, moms, dads, grandparents, what are your plans for spring break? WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea for you. With no school this week, you need an outing. Take your kids, take your grandkids to the amazing Mind Chef restaurant and entertainment center in Hartford for hours of safe and super affordable fun. I used to take my daughters there all the time. My nieces and nephews, too. They loved it. I loved it. The Mind Chef has a world-class game room, over 70 games, including the most popular and easiest games, even for the youngsters. Today through Thursday, kids 5 and under eat free from the kids' menu. Monday and Thursday, when you buy one pizza, your second pizza is always free. Wednesday and Friday, the all-you-can-eat fish fry is $7.99. What a value. The Mind Chef will entertain your kids this week during spring break, especially your teenagers. Grandparents, spend time with your grandkids at the Mind Chef. They're going to love it. Downtown Hartford and off the highway in Oshkosh. Just walk in. It's big food. It's big fun. It's incredible. It's the Amazing Mineshaft.
He's Donald Trump's right-hand man, Elon Musk. And now Musk is trying to buy Brad Schimmel a seat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Because Musk knows when you buy Schimmel, he'll do whatever you want. Like when Schimmel gave a plea deal to a man caught with child porn, after the man's lawyer gave Schimmel thousands of dollars. And Schimmel will ban abortion with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the health of the mother. Deeply corrupt and totally extreme. That's the real Brad Schimmel. There's a better choice.
I'm Judge Susan Crawford. As a former prosecutor and now as a judge, I've made sure rapists, murderers, and child predators were behind bars.
Protecting your family and your most basic rights. That's Judge Susan Crawford.
And I trust women to make their own healthcare decisions. Brad Schimmel doesn't, but I always will.
So on April 1st, vote for Judge Susan Crawford, Supreme Court. Paid for by Susan Crawford for Wisconsin.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Cactus League season is over. The Brewers finished with a record of 16-14. Next up, New York. The regular season begins Thursday afternoon against the Yankees. And the Bucks wrap up a 5-game road trip Wednesday night in Denver against the Nuggets. Milwaukee begins the day in 5th place in the Eastern Conference playoff race with 11 games to play. Taking a look at your roads, a WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic update. Nothing to report here. Smooth sailing across the system. Nice sunny day, easy driving conditions, low volume. You're getting to where you need to go on time this afternoon. 46 the high today, plenty of sun, clear tonight and a low of 28. Cloudy on Wednesday with a high of 47. Chance for a shower in the AM on Thursday with a high of 54. Better chance of rain, maybe some storms on Friday with a high of 65 degrees. Right now in Madison, it's 44. Green Bay, 36. 44 in Waukesha, 41 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:07.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristin, Brey, and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon. Back
you
together
are back.
again. You're back. We haven't been together since Thursday.
Well, you know what they say about absence.
Doesn't make the heart. Is your heart more fond
My
towards me
heart
now?
is always fun. Always fun to be here. It's weird, though. I've been getting a lot of odd texts about, I thought at first they were from you, but then I knew you're not in Yemen. I knew you were still in Wisconsin. So a lot of weird stuff going on.
A lot of weird stuff going on. So we are going to talk about that today at the very top. But
Yes.
What else do we have coming up today? It is indeed Giving Tuesday. So today we are going to be talking to Tiffany Tardy, who is the CEO and president of Pearls for Teen Girls. Very excited. This has been an organization that's been around for 30 years, and they've served over 12,000 girls in Milwaukee. So really looking forward to that conversation.
And there have been countless articles and opinions about teens on social media, especially young girls. There's what effect does it have on them? The only thing that's been missing in that conversation were the actual young girls themselves.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Kate Phelps from UW-Madison has changed that. She's got a new book out called Digital Girlhood, where she actually talked to adolescent girls. So we'll talk to her about her findings at 2:15.
Lots of teenage girl talk today.
Listen, I'm all about... Never mind. Strike that. Let's move on.
But speaking of teenage girl talk, who are typically texting one another or snapping one another,
yes.
I guess it could have been worse if it had been on Snapchat. But those messages also disappear. But
Allegedly.
this is it is truly like a Veep storyline coming out. It's the news broke while you were on air yesterday.
Yes, and I made a similar goofy joke right because it happened right during the 2:00 news. So
Okay.
I was scrolling through, and it's another one of those headlines that's so stupid you can't believe it. The editor-in-chief of The Atlantic was invited to the group chat where the defense secretary on Signal,
which is a nonprofit encrypted app where conversations disappear. So like journalists
Yes.
use this a lot with sources because it's safer than just texting one another.
But it also can be hacked pretty easily, and Russia has been trying and successfully hacking it for a while.
Okay.
Anyway, Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, Tulsi Gabbard, they're all on this chat. Mike Waltz. Everybody's on here. We're talking about attacking Houthi rebels in Yemen, and somehow the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic gets an invite to this chat from either Mike Walls or somebody on his staff.
Yeah.
And is in there, and he, of course, thinks it's a joke too. So I
or
did
like
too.
a disinformation, like a ploy to embarrass him, right? As far as this is AI or this is a joke. This is like he's very skeptical at first that this is an actual conversation from the people, the actual representatives involved.
Because he said, "I've never been invited to a meeting like this, as I shouldn't, and why would I be invited to one now on an app?" So it broke yesterday. It is turned into what can only be described as one of the biggest national security screw-ups that I can remember. And at first, the administration, no, this isn't right. Then the National Security Council said, yeah, this is legit. He did see these things. And thankfully, for all of us,
no American lives were. Well, he withheld it, but also
he withheld it. Yeah, Goldberg decided he wasn't going to do it. He didn't reveal all the contents of some of the messages because he said that would put too many people in danger, which is terrifying. That these people in this position and this. All of that was fact, as reported by AP and every other news organization. This is my editorial. How could they be that stupid and amateurish?
And that was the thing as I was reading the Atlantic article from Jeffrey Goldberg and him kind of explaining day by day from when he was first added and his skepticism over what was real and what wasn't real. And truly until it was announced that the attack had happened was really when he finally realized that this was a legitimate conversation that he had access to.
Yeah, as he's watching these texts and then seeing the reports of what's going on.
And the thing that I think it should be a flag to everyone is the fact that there was 18 national security officials in that group chat, and at least from what Jeffrey Goldberg had access to, not a single one said anything along the lines of, "Should we not be doing this on Signal?" You know what I mean? Like it's not even like what was there wasn't even. Which makes me think that there's other conversations happening on Signal across departments or across other national securities that said that this was already a normal way to have these conversations, that no one from the get-go was like, hey, shut it down.
Well, and they talked about Europe not paying in and being deadbeats, and then they were, after the attacks, they were sending emojis of the flag and fist bumps, and so it. To your point, nobody obviously thought that this was a bad idea. And I know this is simplifying it, but if you've seen any mom movie, you don't put anything in writing. You don't talk on the phone.
Mom, not mom.
No, well,
I heard mom for a second. I was like, oh no, he means mom.
My mom doesn't talk on the phone either. Nothing in writing.
You've seen The Wire.
That's right.
Talk in person.
Talk in person. But if you're dealing with national security, I don't know how this happens. And I don't know how everybody, like you said, one person being stupid, all right. But the whole group, are they all that dumb? And who's JG? If, like, when we have a group chat, there's 3 names on that group chat, sometimes 4. I know all the people involved in that chat.
I just added a random 414 number to our group chat. I'm pretty sure you'd pause before you start saying show secrets.
Yeah. Oh, well, listen. It's a lot of show secrets.
All right. Well, one question I want to ask when we come back.
Yeah.
Because you and I are not immune to jokes, to bringing levity to situations.
Sure. If you don't laugh, you cry.
And the internet had a heyday with this yesterday, with the memification of what happened. And I don't know if that is the right or appropriate response. And had someone actually been killed, I don't think that would have been the response.
And we should say other than the rebels.
Obviously, yes. But had American lives been lost because of this breach? And so is it, like, what are we doing to our ability to escalate situations when they're this serious when we keep memifying politics. So we'll get into that after this on Spanning the State.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
Milwaukee Public Schools begin the week with more lead remediation, a new superintendent, and a court-ordered deadline.
Eric Billstad.
March in Wisconsin means snowfall and wildfires can happen just days apart.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
We've got eastbound 94 closed in Jefferson County.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Brian Noonan here for Milwaukee Weight Loss. I know, I keep talking to you about it, but it is incredible. I've been on it for about 10 weeks, this weight loss journey and healthy living. I've lost 47 pounds. Yesterday, I wore a shirt I hadn't worn in a couple years. I'm about to enter the maintenance phase for 30 days before I go on to try to lose some more weight. This whole thing is the secret to losing up to a pound of fat every day. The program's doctor developed. No pills, no shots, no other prescriptions. You don't have to buy prepackaged meal, cook your own food, use your own judgment. The program costs half as much as other programs, and it works twice as fast. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation. They say that many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. I've surpassed that. That doesn't make me special. It means you can do it too, because it is crazy to watch your body lose up to a pound of fat every day. Schedule your free consultation by calling 262-449-1180 or go online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I'm Kristin Brey. And if you've been paying attention to the news whatsoever, you are probably already familiar with the fact that yesterday afternoon, just around 2 p.m. Central Time, The Atlantic posted what is probably, at least in my lifetime, and I'm on the younger side of things, but the most insane story I have ever read about U.S. national security, where 18 different national security advisors or leaders were in a group chat on an app called Signal, talking about the strike that they had planned against the Houthis in Yemen, and the editor of The Atlantic was in the group chat.
Yeah, and I will say he was very smart. He kept quiet. He just kept watching this roll in because, as you mentioned at the outset, he didn't believe this was happening, just like most of us didn't believe it when we heard the story come out yesterday. We all thought that this has got to be some sort of fishing expedition or some sort of – nobody could be that dumb. It's my mom always used to say, how can educated people be that stupid?
Well, and it's funny because to a certain extent, we can be that dumb, right? Like I think any of us have, when the stakes are much lower, but like adding the wrong person, sending a text to the wrong Brian. How many Brians do you know? How many Mikes do you know? My favorite story is my best friend is named Mike. Okay. My husband is named Mike. Now my boss is named Mike, so that's a lot of Mikes in my life. But when I first started dating my now husband, multiple times I thought I was texting him and I texted my best friend. So then I just had to separate and I had to change both of their names in my phone. So like mistakes like that happen as like human error, which is why you have these conversations in person.
Yes.
Right? I feel like that is the thing.
But if you're texting your boyfriend or your boss, it's different.
It's not, that's right. And with the stakes being different.
That can be excused. This can't be excused.
So this is my question, because the internet had a field day, is having a field day, right? I don't know if Jon Stewart did this last night, because he always does Mondays for The Daily Show. So I don't know if they changed it up and did this last night. I have to imagine some of the other late night shows covered this last night. The memes across the internet Very funny. My favorite one so far is a meme of Big Bird sitting in a room of with executives, and it being just labeling it JG. It's like there's one of these is not like the other. Or if anyone's watching White Lotus, the meme of Walton Goggins,
Sam Rockwell.
Yes, of him listening and being like, so, but that's not even just from the lay people on the internet. There's also Democrats, elected Democrats, who their response to this is to put out a meme. And my thing is, had anyone actually been killed, had American soldiers been killed because of some kind of security breach, I don't think maybe some people would still be making jokes, but I don't think. I think it's because the fact that nothing more serious happened that people feel as comfortable as they do making this into a punchline. But in reality, this could have been so much worse. And so, are we doing ourselves a disservice by leaning into the stupidity and the parts of it that are absurd and making jokes out of it instead of harping on the fact of how dangerous and how scared that maybe we should be as far as our security being compromised?
I think there's a couple ways to look at it. One, the Democrats are accused all the time of being hysterical. Oh, they have Trump derangement syndrome. And this story comes out, and yes, thank God no American service people were killed or injured in these attacks. So in order to not seem like they're falling for every bit of
bait
trouble that comes out of the administration, they're just, all right, we'll laugh at it. We'll use humor to point out the fact that we told you from the beginning these people were not qualified to be in those jobs, but they're there and we're going to laugh about it. I don't think lay people will ever stop anymore. We've passed the point of no return with the memification of society, as you said. It's to the point where I have to be first. If I'm one of these creators, I have to have the first joke out there. I have to be the first person out there, without any regard for how serious this actually is.
Well, I now, because our memories are short, was there a lot of people making jokes after the Trump's assassination attempt in July?
There were people making jokes because of the big coat.
No, but that was a couple days later.
Head.
Out of the gate, the Sunday.
Yes, there were people.
I know there were some people making very bad, distasteful jokes about, ooh, just missed.
Right.
Like that kind
Those
of stuff,
kind of
which
jokes.
I would
There were jokes.
do not condone,
there were
sorry.
people calling it fake at that point, right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The only jokes were the horrible ones about missing, that kind of stuff. As far as I can remember, there may have been, but see, in that instance too, we had a civilian who was killed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was right. So it was maybe people showed a little more restraint. Plus, if you're going on there's a difference between mocking Pete Hegseth and Rubio and Tulsi, rather than if you start making jokes about the president being assassinated, that's when you get a knock at the door from the Secret Service. So people may show a little more restraint just because they know this is more serious than a joke.
You don't think the jokes lessen or soften the seriousness of the situation?
I do. I think in this situation, it would have been incumbent upon the Democrats to really, this is, if we only look at it in political sense, this is a chance for them to gain some ground. If we look at it as, hey, we need to protect the country, they need to be hammering this nonstop. This was not a joke. This is not cute. This is not a little screw up. Everything I've read from anybody who was in the military says that this is the kind of thing that gets you not only thrown in Leavenworth, it gets you tossed out of the service. There's a lot that goes with it. It's a serious issue.
And that'll be the interesting thing as far as loyalty, protecting your own. Like, what will the accountability or the ramifications be for anyone?
Well,
Hegseth on down. Will Waltz get fired? I think that's kind of the next level to this. It feels like that should have been an immediate thing yesterday, but I've yet to see anyone take the blame for it.
Well, we've seen them circle the wagons already. The president said Walz has learned his lesson. Everybody's going against it's the Atlantic's fault. So we're not going to see anything, because even though yesterday everybody
gaslighting at its finest.
Everybody admitted it happened yesterday, and now they're changing their tune. How dumb do they think the American public is? Don't answer that. I think we know. But yeah, it's insanity.
All right. Well, we'll come back. Well, maybe we'll touch up more on this later in the show. But for now, we'll do this, and then there's more.
Hey, John Mercure here. Our home has become our happy place, thanks in large part to CertaPro Painters. They came out, they did a big job, and they did it big time right. It's CertaPro Painters. Right now's the time. Call and check out their spring sales event going on now through May 15th. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. They will transform your house inside and outside. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Are you on track to achieve your retirement plans? Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal of Kowal Investment Group. We've recently joined Creative Planning, a national registered investment advisor. This move to Creative expands our ability to provide comprehensive wealth management, investment advisory, and retirement planning services. Now is the time to put your lifetime of hard work into action. For over 37 years, we've helped clients toward making their retirement dreams become a reality, and we'd like to help you too. And the best part, your plan will be completely tailored to you. Our in-house team of specialists will take the time to learn about you and your family, review your current situation, and find out what your goals are. Then we'll design a plan to help you get there. To get started, request your free meeting today with one of our fiduciary advisors by visiting creativeplanning.com. Whether you have met with us in the past or this will be your first meeting with us, we're excited to introduce Kowal Investment Group to you as Creative Planning. Visit creativeplanning.com today.
You can search for the biggest bat selection, but I'm here to save you time, because the best baseball and softball bat selection in the Midwest is right here at Burkhardt Sporting Goods. We stock just about every bat on the market from all the top manufacturers like Easton, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Marucci, and more, and sell them all at the guaranteed lowest prices. So get in here and try a few out in our indoor batting cages. There's no need to look any further, because when it comes to bats, if you want it, we got it at Burkhardt Sporting Goods.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spiritware is vital. That's why Burkhardt Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spiritwear from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spiritwear and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhardt.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
This March, Heiser Automotive Group is putting the pedal to the metal with our Accelerate Your Refund sales and service event. Tax season is the best time to upgrade your ride or take care of your current vehicle. And we're making it easier than ever to turn your tax refund into turbocharged buying power. Accelerate into a newer used vehicle or get essential repairs and maintenance done. Plus, with Heiser's exclusive Safe and Sound program, you can buy and service with confidence, convenience, and peace of mind. Visit Heiser.com today.
See dealer for complete details.
It's Spain in the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I'm Kristin Brey. But we were talking about the joke, whether or not it's helpful to be joking about the fact that 18 national security officials were all in a Signal group chat together. And while it's easy to make fun of because it does sound like a Veep storyline, if that weakens the argument of this is really bad.
Yeah, and I'm all for making jokes about things. I think there is a time and a place to joke about most things. I'm not going to say everything, but most things you can make fun of. I think if you're just a regular person, like if you or I were to create a meme, that's fine. We don't have any control of the government.
Punching up.
Right, and we can do that. If you're if you're an elected official, this is nothing to laugh about.
No.
And leave that off your social media. Get in there and actually do something about it.
All right. ABC News and local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franson. Consumer confidence has tumbled for the fourth consecutive month.
Rising concern over tariffs and inflation boosted Americans' anxiety about their financial futures in the survey by FactSet for the Conference Board. The measure of short-term expectations for income, business, and the job market fell more than the total index to the lowest reading in 12 years and well below the threshold, which the Conference Board says can signal a potential recession in the near future.
ABC's Chuck Sievertson. The White House is downplaying the group text chat between top defense and security officials, with a journalist accidentally included on that list, saying there was no classified information disclosed about U.S. strikes in Yemen. Democrats say the unsecure chat put military personnel at risk. In Texas, measles cases climbing again. Health officials in the state confirmed 18 more cases since last Friday, with a total of 327 measles cases across 15 states reporting. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. 42 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee. From the WTMJ and Breaking Newsroom, I'm Greg Matzik. Spending nearly 2 years in prison for paying health care kickbacks. Court records show Justin Hansen from River Hills and his business partner spent 3 years paying $400,000 in kickbacks to a substance abuse clinic for medical test referrals performed at their Milwaukee area lab. Their lab ultimately received over $2 million from Medicare and Medicaid for the unnecessary tests. Hansen will have to pay that money back, as well as a $75,000 fine. Milwaukee police need help in finding a critically missing 16-year-old. Paris Love was last in contact with her family around 8 o'clock on Sunday night. She went missing near Cass in Ogden. MPD describes Love as a black female, 5 feet 2 inches tall, weighing about 115 pounds. For photos of Love, you can visit our website, WTMJ.com. Decision Wisconsin today marks 1 week until the spring election. In-person absentee voting is underway, with Thursday being the last day to request an absentee ballot. You can register to vote in person at your local clerk's office until Friday or at your polling place on Election Day. Just bring a photo ID and proof of residency. Election Day is Tuesday, April 1st. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Kind of stagnant here on the indices. The Dow is down about 42 points at 42,541. NASDAQ up about 42 points at 18,230. S&P 500 off a little less than a point at 5768. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today. Taking a look at your roads, a WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic update. Happy to report no major issues on the roads this afternoon. Pleasant conditions for driving, relatively low volume, and you're getting wherever you need to go on time using the freeway system. 46 degrees, a mixture of sun and clouds today. Clear tonight, a low of 28. 47 under partly cloudy skies on Wednesday. Mostly cloudy on Thursday, a high of 54. Chance of showers and storms on Friday with a high of 65. Right now in Madison, it's 45, Green Bay 37, Waukesha 45, and 42 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Please, please, please. Hear that? That's shady Brad Schimmel on his knees begging for money from wealthy billionaires who want to buy Wisconsin's Supreme Court.
I have to crawl around begging people.
And the more Brad Schimmel begs,
please, please, please,
the more they shell out, because everyone knows shady Brad Schimmel is for sale.
I have to crawl around begging people.
After all, Schimmel cut a crooked plea deal with a man caught with child pornography after his lawyer gave Schimmel thousands in campaign cash. What could have been a 25-year sentence was dropped to just 3 years for that sick predator. So it's no wonder billionaires want shady Brad Schimmel on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. They've seen Schimmel help his campaign donors, just like he did for that criminal's lawyer.
I have to invest in knee pads.
Brad Schimmel, if you're listening, get up off your knees. You're embarrassing yourself. Paid for by the Justice Project.
Please, please, please.
Not authorized by any candidate or candidate's agent or committee.
Please, please, please.
Hey, March Madness is here. Now, technically, I can't say March Madness, but I can say this. Our coverage of the tournament will be fantastic. Hey, it's Greg Matzik. Keep it tuned to WTMJ for all the updates you need on the tournament. Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. During every sports update, you'll know about every buzzer beater, every upset, the Cinderella stories, and how the state teams are doing throughout the entire tournament. It's the college basketball tournament, not March Madness. Update sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Beer fans, travel lovers, and history buffs, this is your dream vacation. Join me, Sandy Max, on a 10-day journey through Germany, Austria, and the Czech Republic. We'll enjoy Munich's famous beer halls, sip our way through Salzburg's historic breweries, and discover Vienna's culture and craft beer scene. Then end the tour in Prague, where ancient history meets modern brews. From iconic castles to authentic flavors, grab your passport and let's raise a glass to the ultimate beer adventure. Limited spots available. Book now. Email me, sandy@wtmj.com to learn more.
It's time for Giving Tuesday, a segment that we do every Tuesday where we introduce you to Wisconsin people and organizations that are advocating for causes and doing good across the state. Well, it's hard to believe that we're almost at the end of March.
I know.
Feels like we just started March, but indeed it is the end of Women's History Month. And so we thought we'd do at least one more group focusing on girls in the Milwaukee area. And for the past 30 plus years, Pearls for Teen Girls has served over 12,000 girls in Milwaukee. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That is a lot of different girls. So they empower them with self-development tools, guidance, and support to strive for better, brighter futures. And joining us now is Tiffany Tardy, President and CEO of Pearls for Teen Girls. Welcome to the show, Tiffany.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. You said it so nicely.
Well, so I didn't realize it was 30 years or 32 years. And so what was kind of the history of the organization and when it first got started?
Yeah. So our founder, Colleen Fitzgerald, who's still involved in the program today, saw a need back in the 90s of just spaces for girls and having conversations about what girls were experiencing. And I always say, imagine what life looked like for me then as a teenager, and what life looks like today and why Pearls is still so relevant for our teen girls. But she saw a need, and there was this desire at this one middle school, Jackie Robinson, back in the day, and with this one group of girls, and then out of that birth Pearls. But it was just seeing this need in our community to hold spaces for our youth, and particularly girls, as they're navigating all of the things that they navigate as teenagers.
Got it.
What did the programming look like at the beginning, and how has it evolved, and what's it look like today?
So Pearls was created by girls for girls, which is what's so cool. So there's a lot of threads that still continue with us today. So our first group established Pearls, and Pearls is an acronym. So it is personal responsibility, empathy, awareness, respect, leadership, and support. And those girls created the Pearls Promise that we recite every single meeting, every day, every convening of our girls in that one group of, 20-ish girls back then. And then they saw that the girls, they thought it was going to be this one-time thing, but the girls wanted to continue to come back. And so that's where it started to grow and build into these small groups over the period of time. So over those years, 30 plus years, we've served 12,000 plus girls, but we still have that same kind of traditional programming where we have weekly circle at our sites across the city of Milwaukee and greater Milwaukee, where girls can come together and have that peer support and development with each other, as well as professional staff members that are with them every day. And we have an intergenerational model. So we have teenage girls working with our middle school girls, with the professional team members. We have college students. We have, younger professionals entering into their careers that are working with those girls so that they can have that peer adjacent support, as well as that representation of folks that are, a lot closer to what they're experiencing than I would be today, right? I don't know much about what they're experiencing today on the TikToks and all the things that they're navigating, but some of their near peers do, and so they are able to build that support system within each other, as well as with the evidence-based curriculum that we have with our staff members that are constantly adapting and changing to what their needs are. So it's really cool to see that so much of what we had from the very beginning, we still are able to hold space for today. And then also the flexibility to make changes to adapt to all of the needs and experiences that the girls are having today as well.
So what is what's the criteria to join? What's the kind of the target demographic of who becomes a Pearl girl?
Yeah, so so Pearl serves all girls and gender expansive youth here in our city, and we serve girls 5th grade to 12th grade.
Okay.
And so we are working within certain schools and community-based organizations. So we have sites across the city, but then we have our Pearls home base, which is our office space, which we serve girls Monday through Thursday in group for all grade levels, 5th grade to 12th grade. And any girl in the city of Milwaukee is welcome to come to those groups every single week, Monday through Thursday. And there's no criteria outside of wanting to participate in Pearls. And we always say that it's a voluntary space. And so the girls who come to Pearls want to be there, and they come every single week. 98% of our girls would recommend Pearls to a friend. 100% of our Pearls graduates, our high school graduates, or 100% of our high schoolers graduate high school. And, 98% pursue post-secondary education. So a lot of really cool opportunities for girls. And especially if you're thinking about all of the things that they can get involved with today, and it's a choice, right, to come to Pearl's group every week. So there's something special there.
Those are high numbers.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So obviously we pointed out the 12,000 girls that have been helped. What other impact has the program made? Like outside of that in the community, what have the girls done?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So having so many young women and girls and who've become women go through our program, you see Pearls in so many different spaces. And so we have entrepreneurs, we have, doctors and attorneys, and so much of this robust alumni base that, it's like, wow, like I table events, and I love to do that on behalf of Pearls in the community, because you'll hear so many either alum or parents of alum that are like, oh my gosh, I know this organization. It helped my daughter so much. Or I was a Pearls girl. I just had a former alum who was like reciting our acronym. Like, I remember all of this, and, I want my daughter to be involved. So there's, I think, a lot of impact in just one, helping build these future leaders in our city. And so many of them are within our community, but then also to be able to feel like the curriculum that we have around social emotional learning and mental health and, navigating challenging times and situations. Like, we look at the whole person. And so I think that, like, we can talk about those data points, right? Like, we have so many that have gone on to pursue all of these different careers and entrepreneurship, et cetera. But from my perspective, I think it's even more special of just like actually teaching and empowering women to navigate the spaces around them. And in the things that we're facing even today, I feel like our Pearls alum are, really well positioned to navigate whatever comes their way, which from my point of view as a woman, is so powerful. And that's the real impact of, like, we have dynamic women across our state, across our country now. There's Pearls alum all over, right, that feel empowered every single day.
So later in today's show, we're actually also talking to a author who wrote and interviewed young women, specifically like 11 to 13 on social media. And you also referenced the TikToks and stuff.
Yeah.
So as you see all of the good things that obviously come out of the program, but when you're working with the girls and all of the youth that's involved in Pearls, what are some of the bigger challenges that are unique to this day and age that you're seeing come up for them?
Number one is exactly as you said, it's the internet. And there's a whole lot that can happen behind a computer screen or a phone screen, right? And so the cyber security of it all, the cyber bullying, the additional pressures and social pressures that come from, seeing all of these images, I think have an impact on girls. And I also think the piece around, and I hate to say it, but post-COVID, right? Like so much has changed in the way that we interact. And we, tell the stories of some of our girls of like just how they, may have become more antisocial or more introverted during that period of time, and how Pearls is being able to kind of breathe that life back into them again, which is super cool. But like thinking post-pandemic and just being able to help in the social spaces and the confidence spaces, I think is a huge area that we're working on, as well as a lot of the data coming out of the pandemic around academic challenges of girls. And we're not an academic program, but we are a support program. Every girl submits a SMART goal, a year-long SMART goal, and we just are their cheerleaders of helping them. And many of them, most of them now, we have them set academic goals of some sort. Like, I'm going to really work on this math that I'm struggling on, and like, we're going to be there with you, you know. And then when you meet that goal and you get that grade at the end of the year, we take them on our kind of goal party, which is an end of the year excursion. This year they're going to be going to Mount Olympus, and they'll get to, you know, do all the things that they do.
That sounds all right.
And have fun, right? Because they set a goal and they hit that goal. And so those are the things that we try to do. And then the other piece I would note from coming today with our girls is around mental health and navigating all of the pressures, again, that we talked about, right, that we're seeing from the internet and other spaces, but like being able to regulate, being able to know that they have resources and support, that they're not alone, has been really powerful as well.
Tell us about the big event you've got coming up April 17th.
Yeah, so we have our annual fundraiser gala on April 17th. It's at the Barrett Center. It is going to be beautiful. We're super excited. The theme this year is the butterfly effect, and really thinking about, again, all of the growth and development that happens in our girls. So we'll be telling all of these really cool stories of things that our girls are doing and accomplishing, and the impact of Pearls. And yeah, it's my second gala for Pearls in my time in my role. And we're super excited just for all of it's a celebration for us. Like I think there's so much work that goes into our programming team, to all of our other staff within the organization. And this is a really cool opportunity for the community to be engaged, for all of our donors and sponsors and supporters to really and then our girls and their families and our site partners and the schools that we work with to all come together and really celebrate the beauty and spirit of Pearls, and also raise some money.
Raise some money. All right, where can people get more information or find tickets for the event?
Absolutely. pearlsforteengirls.com/ITL. It's inspired to lead. So pearlsforteengirls.com/ITL. You can get all information that you need around ticketing, around sponsorships, around getting involved with Pearls. We're always looking for volunteers, mentors for our girls, any ways that we can engage in our city and community. We want to do that.
Perfect. All right. Well, Tiffany Tardy is the president and CEO of Pearls for Teen Girls. Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
If you know of a Wisconsin organization you would like highlighted on Giving Tuesday, email us at spanning@WTMJ.com. We can always use a little help from our
It's time for you and that diamond to come alive again.
At the 4th annual Spring Ring Cleaning at Kessler's.
Even if you have a good ultrasonic jewelry cleaner, it can't match the pressurized steam cleaning we do at Kessler's.
Let us steam clean and polish your engagement ring.
For free.
I'm Joe Gerke, president of Kessler's, and we want to strip away all the soap scum that is making your diamond look dull.
For free. And while we're doing it, we'll inspect the prongs on your ring to make sure your diamond isn't about to fall out.
It's the 4th annual Spring Ring Cleaning at Kessler's.
Here's another idea. Bring us anything you own that needs to be repaired, and we'll give you a price to make it like new again.
And if you have some old jewelry you don't wear anymore,
we can make something unique and wonderful out of it.
Unique in all the world.
Welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, visit Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
With Amazon Business, smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers, where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from Three Pillars resident Lola.
When I was new, I come in and sit down, and people join me. And you get to know people, talk about feeling welcome. Art class is first early in the morning. Right now, I'm also involved in being a production assistant with a theater group. Every month, they have a supper club with a different theme. First one that I went to, they had a luau. I am so lucky to have ended up in this place, and I think it's one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Your stress-free spring break trip starts in your driveway with Go Right Way, Wisconsin's largest chauffeured fleet. Start your vacation as soon as you leave your house by letting Go Right Way handle your rides to and from Mitchell Field or O'Hare. Luggage? Go Right Way has it. Traffic? Go Right Way handles it. Parking hassles? You won't miss them. Go Right Way's professional, on-time chauffeurs are background checked and their vehicles are premium and meticulously cleaned. Your journey starts with a ride you can trust. Book your ride today at GoRightWay.com.
Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Don't you know everyone wants to laugh? My dad said be an actor, my son.
A lot. You know I like Broadway musicals, so this is not a slam. A lot of them sound the same.
A lot of the older ones sound similar.
Because this sounded like almost like Be Our Guest a little bit.
Oh.
Something else. There was something else that it sounded like. And there's certain notes that in every production I've seen, there's a certain cadence to Broadway musicals and certain
it's a style.
Notes, that are always hit. And I don't mind it.
Well, it's like it's like the clues to a song where it's like that this is the end. Like it can't end on like the wrong note where you're like you have another line, right?
Something's gotta be
Like,
going.
there's just certain rules I think with the style.
And
that is recognizable.
Do you ever play This Is the Intermission song? This is the one that's taking us to intermission? Because I never look at like the song rundown and the playbills before the show. I just let it happen. And there's a point where I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, this is the song that's going to take us to intermission. And I'm 50-50.
Oh, you're 50-50? I feel like it's always pretty obvious.
Yeah, I don't
It's usually like a big
I've usually
company
slept
number
through the first act.
Oh, okay.
So I wake up in time for a song and I go, this is it. This is the one.
All right. Well, I don't know if you would sleep through this, but the Milwaukee Comedy Festival is having its 20th rendition this year.
Nice.
I did not know this. It is one of the longest standing, I think it's actually the oldest comedy festival in the Midwest.
Yeah, it was happening
at 20
before
years.
Chicago.
Yeah, and it's one of the oldest in the nation. And so I saw this, and I was very excited for my friends who are involved with the Milwaukee Comedy Festival. Patton Oswalt is going to be headlining it this fall.
That's a good name.
Big get.
That is.
That is a big get. I really like Patton Oswalt.
I do too. He's one of when I was in L.A. doing comedy and other stuff. He was like one of the OGs of the alt comedy movement.
Okay.
They'd be at one or two rooms in L.A. and it was like him and Janine Garofalo and Brian Pochette and those kind of the alt comics, which. I don't know how that name really fit because the alternative to comedy is drama. So
what does that mean? The alt comics,
they were just they had a disdain for like road comics or people who did setup punchline. They were just this is what happened to me today, kind of stream of consciousness.
Seinfeld.
Yeah, because it wasn't polished. It was just they were just talking.
It's like Mark Maron type.
Yeah, Maron was probably one of those. But see, Maron, I think, has set material. And now it's obvious Patton does.
Yeah.
He's really good. But it was a whole big movement. It was just, we're different than, it was a lot of people who weren't getting time at like the Improv or the
All right,
the
I'm going to go look up alt comedy and see what I can find.
It's a big thing.
Tickets go on sale soon. for the Milwaukee Comedy Festival. I've seen it before. They do a great job, and this is a great get for them. Welcome Pat and Oswald to Milwaukee.
We'll have to see if we can get them on here.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be back with Spinning the State on Spanning the State after this.
You should be listening to Wisconsin's Midday News each weekday from 11 to 1.
Bucks President Peter Feigin joins us live here in the studio right now.
But if you missed us, catch up anytime with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty by listening to the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast.
What you're seeing now is like the reality of, playing a season together, kind of, getting to know each other.
Powered by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more.
Don't forget, take us with you wherever you go. We'd love to have you with us.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Kristin Brey, and if you're looking for a new dentist, you should check out my dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economwalk Dental Care. Dr. Michaels is committed to providing you with the highest level of care possible. I can assure you that he will prioritize your needs, no matter how sensitive, just like he did with mine. If you're due for a dental visit, Economwalk Dental has an $89 new patient special, so you can get the care that you need at an affordable price. In addition to my exam, Dr. Michael's staff provided a gentle professional cleaning that left my mouth feeling all silky and rejuvenated, very smooth teeth. We all have to go to the dentist, so do not put it off any longer. Check out Economwalk Dental Care at drmichaelsdentalcare.com or give them a call at 262-567-7224. If you want to start feeling confident about your smile, go see my dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economwalk Dental Care.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks, on demand, in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
The wait is over. Brewers baseball is back. Time to pick your Brewers games and get back to the ballpark for tailgate traditions and walk-off wins. Be here for opening day. Come back for the big games and the best giveaways. Where else would you want to be? Brewers tickets for the 2025 season are on sale now. That's opening day and every game, all summer long. Get on board for the show today. Grab your seats at brewers.com/ticket finder.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com, or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to new, NORDICUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New year, new you, New Nordic.
From sliding framed, semi-frameless, or frameless glass shower doors, to heavy all-glass custom enclosures that can be built to fit any opening, at Less's Glass, we cover all the bases. But our biggest strength isn't only our selection. It's in our installation experience. We've been around nearly 40 years, and you only last that long if your installers leave the job the way your customers expect it to be left. Other places can sell you a glass shower enclosure, and some of those big guys may even be able to do it for a little cheaper. But the question you need to ask yourself is, will the job be done right? So remember, paying for quality only hurts once, but it does feel good when you get what you expect. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. They're the best. Let them make Outdoor Living Unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Built Right. One location saves you money.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 41 degrees. Tonight, clear skies, a low of 28. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a high of 47. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm John Mercure. Decision, Wisconsin. Today marks 1 week until the spring election. In-person absentee voting is underway, with Thursday being the last day to request an absentee ballot. You can register to vote in person at your local clerk's office until Friday or at your polling place on Election Day. Just bring a photo ID and proof of residency. Election Day is Tuesday, April 1st. Some top administration officials are being grilled over a group chat involving the March 15th U.S. attack on Houthi rebels in Yemen.
Colorado Democratic Senator Michael Bennet asked CIA Director John Ratcliffe how the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic magazine was added to that group chat.
Did he invite himself to the signal thread? I don't know how he was invited.
Bennett couldn't believe his ears.
This sloppiness, this incompetence, this disrespect for our intelligence agencies and the personnel who work for them is entirely unacceptable. It's an embarrassment.
The group chat discussed attack timing, targets, and weapons. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Tariffs have caused Canadians to boycott American products and travel destinations. Canadian economist Todd Hirsch tells WTMJ's Political Power Hour.
I'm at a point now where I think Canada, we have to accept this is what's happening. It's not going to go away. These tariffs are going to happen, and now we have to react.
More tariffs on Canada could come April 2nd. Today's Medal of Honor Day, recognizing the United States Armed Forces' highest military decoration. And a new museum in Arlington, Texas is opening its doors for the first time. President and CEO of the National Medal of Honor Museum, Chris Cassidy, tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
It's inspirational, I think, for others. I mean, clearly the meaning recipients, and they all say that it's harder to wear than it is to earn, because there's like this sense of, well, how come I'm getting it? And the guys that didn't come back had just as much valor on the battlefield as I did.
We will profile 2 Wisconsin Medal of Honor recipients coming up on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Maybe a few days away, but it's going to be a wet weekend. For WTMJ meteorologist Craig Copleen, that's actually good news.
We're going to need some precipitation here to sort of catch up from the snow we didn't get over the winter time. This time of the year, it's not unusual, of course, to get a fair amount of rain as well. So this is sort of not great timing, given that it's a weekend.
Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast is coming up. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Mixed day for the markets. The NASDAQ is up 37 points. The Dow is down 105. The S&P is off 5 points. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:04.
Come on in and take advantage of Fleet Farm Member Appreciation Days, March 20th through the 26th. Fleet Rewards members can take an extra 10% off qualifying purchases, in-store and online. Not a member? Sign up to get your discount now. The extra 10% is our way of thanking you for being a loyal Fleet Rewards member. So stock up on everything you need during Member Appreciation Days, now through Wednesday, and enjoy even more savings at Fleet Farm. Some restrictions apply.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. At a member, new car dealers have factory warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are as low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
He's Donald Trump's right-hand man, Elon Musk. And now Musk is trying to buy Brad Schimmel a seat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Because Musk knows when you buy Schimmel, he'll do whatever you want. Like when Schimmel gave a plea deal to a man caught with child porn, after the man's lawyer gave Schimmel thousands of dollars. And Schimmel will ban abortion, with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the health of the mother. Deeply corrupt and totally extreme. That's the real Brad Schimmel. There's a better choice.
I'm Judge Susan Crawford. As a former prosecutor and now as the judge, I've made sure rapists, murderers, and child predators were behind bars.
Protecting your family and your most basic rights. That's Judge Susan Crawford.
And I trust women to make their own healthcare decisions. Brad Schimmel doesn't, but I always will.
So on April 1st, vote for Judge Susan Crawford, Supreme Court. Paid for by Susan Crawford for Wisconsin.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Spring training is over. The Brewers finished the Cactus League season with a record of 16-14. The regular season begins Thursday in New York against the Yankees. And the Bucks wrap up a 5-game road trip tomorrow night in Denver against the Nuggets. The Bucks begin the day in 5th place in the Eastern Conference playoff race with 11 games to play. Let's check out those roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. Just one little issue to deal with. I-94 eastbound, about a third of a mile east of the Zoo interchange. The right lane is blocked due to a disabled vehicle. The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 28. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a high of 47. On Thursday, mostly cloudy, a high of 54. Friday, a chance for rain, a high of 65. On Saturday, a chance for rain, a high of 56 degrees. Right now in Madison, partly cloudy and 46. In Green Bay, partly cloudy and 36. In Milwaukee, cloud cover and 41 degrees. I'm John Mercure, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:07.
It's time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristin, Brey, and Brian Noonan.
It's only Tuesday, but with all that's been going on, it seems like the week is already half over. There's a lot happening, and that isn't limited to national stories. There's always a lot of stories happening in Wisconsin. If you miss any of the details, feel free to text the word SPIN to the Siding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line at 855-616-1620. It is time.
It is time
to spin.
Madison.
All right. Well, I don't know how you felt about this, Brian, but when some of us were in grade school, the thought of a spelling test, or heaven forbid, a spelling bee, filled us with dread.
Yes.
But some students embraced their love of spelling and flourished, and some went on to be super spellers. This weekend, Wisconsin's top spellers will compete at 1 p.m. Saturday at the Mippy Theater at Madison College. The winner and runner-up of the Badger State Spelling Bee will both compete in the Scripps National Spelling Bee in late May.
Wow.
As is fitting, a championship event in Wisconsin, there will be a tailgate party.
Right on. That's how we do it.
So before the spelling bee, the Wisconsin State Journal will be cheering on the spellers with a tailgate in the parking lot off Wright Street across from the Bit-Bee. The public is welcome to come cheer on the spellers. There's going to be free brats and hot dogs as long as they last, thanks to a donation from Quick Trip.
Wow.
People are welcome to bring their own food too, or just come between 11:30 and 1 p.m. and cheer on the spellers as they arrive. The Wisconsin State Journal has organized the state spelling bee for 76 years.
Nice.
In Wisconsin, the journey to the Scripps National Spelling Bee starts each fall and winter when students in grades 3 through 8th participate in the classroom, school, and or district spelling bees. And then the winners from these events move on to regional bees, all affiliated with the Scripps National Spelling Bee.
I wish I could be there. I want to see what a spelling bee tailgate looks like. I'm hoping.
Seems like there's probably less booze than a normal tailgate, but I guess you never know.
I don't know. I want to see 5 guys who are trying to spell out a word with a letter on each chest, but they're in the wrong order. I want to see all kinds of craziness from there. But well, have fun and good luck to those spellers. That is, I can't imagine being that young and that much stress for these spelling bees. It's like, this will draw heat. It's like the pressure that an athlete puts on themselves. You have to compete.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be at the top of your game.
I don't know why that would draw heat.
I have found, talking to former athletes, that anytime you equate anything to athletics that isn't athletics, they get very upset.
No, that's dumb.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing in like a speech and debate tournament. Like anything where you prepare that much for, and all eyes are on you, and there's something on the line. Like, I think all of that is similar.
I had a huge argument with a guy who played D3 football over whether, I said marching band is an athletic activity. I didn't say it was a sport. I said because they have to march and do all this choreography while still playing instruments.
Yeah.
Oh, you would have thought I had said football was a game invented by communists.
Oh, gosh.
It was horrifying. But that is that. Well, good luck to all the spellers. I was never one. I was one of the dread. I was filled with dread. Even if I studied for my spelling test,
I was probably a better speller in 3rd grade than I am now.
I am so bad.
My brain is atrophied thanks to spell.
I was going to say you have spell check. We don't need to spell it anymore.
Any of those words memorized anymore. Gosh.
All right, let's spin it again.
Oshkosh.
Oh, this is one for the ages. The public has a weird fascination with serial killers. I know. Agreed. I love a good documentary about a serial killer, books about serial killers. Well, a new play is taking that fascination to previously uncharted territory. 15 years after creating Ed Gein the musical, Wisconsin-born actor, writer, and producer Dan Davies is set to premiere the cult classic film as a theatrical play at the Time Community Theater in Oshkosh, April 4th through the 6th. Raisin Ormo, Davies said there aren't many independently owned cinemas left, so he is excited to be able to bring his show to one of them in downtown Oshkosh. Quote, having a world premiere in my backyard is a dream come true, Davies told the Oshkosh Northwestern. A comedic musical film, the original Ed Gein the musical, was a satirical production that delved into the psyche of Gein and what could have possibly led him to become a murderer. Ed Gein the musical aired on PBS and the Retro TV network before Davis decided Gein's story would do just as well as a standalone play in 2 distinct areas, the sheriff's interrogation of Gein and Gein's imagination. Would I love to see this? You betcha.
Yeah?
I think this will be, because it sounds like it's going to be funny, too.
It does sound like it's going to be funny. It gives me, it's giving Sweeney Todd.
Yes.
Right? Because like Sweeney Todd's a musical, literally a musical about a serial killer.
Right, but Ed's local and real.
Ed is local and real.
And, I don't want to see his table lamps. But that is that. So there is spinning for the day. If you missed anything and want more details, text SPIN to 855-616-1620. That's a Signing Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. When we come back, Teen Girl Talk continues on Spanning the State today because there's a lot of talk about the effect of social media on young girls. What was missing? Actual young girls telling people what the effect is. So we will talk to Dr. Kate Phelps, the author of Digital Girlhood, after this on Spanning the State.
While you rest on the weekends, we work for you. Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. The latest in news.
Clearly, Pride Fest has benefited from organizations who want to show their commitment to diversity.
Entertainment.
It's real-life drama. I would also call it true crime. It is just such a bizarre story.
And more.
We're able to tap about 400 trees and make some delicious maple syrup.
Every Sunday morning starting at 8 on WTMJ.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at Right Choice Tax Resolution. We have talked with a number of new clients who told us the same story. They had a tax situation and went with one of those national firms with the TV and radio ads. You know the ones. They guarantee they can settle your tax owed for pennies on the dollar. They take a $10,000 fee up front, and then you never hear from them again. We are a local firm and just want to help you resolve your situation so you can get on with your life. Don't let your bank account get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security get garnished, or a lien put on your house so that you can't sell it or get refinanced. The state can even put a hold on your occupational license. Make the right choice and call 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us today. Schedule a free meeting so we can talk and come up with a solution to solve your situation now. It will not go away if you bury your head in the sand. The first meeting is free. Call now, 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us.
Hey, WTMJ fans, have you been keeping up with the basketball madness happening? Well, there's more to come this weekend and this weekend with only 16 teams remaining. Our friends at Palermo's are doing a contest giveaway, and we want you to participate. All you have to do is go to the WTMJ Facebook page and find the post that asks what 4 teams you think will be the last 4 remaining. The winner will receive 10 free pizza coupons. Yes, 10 free Palermo's pizza coupons. Go join in on the madness thanks to Palermo's Pizza.
This March, Heiser Automotive Group is putting the pedal to the metal with our Accelerate Your Refund sales and service event. Tax season is the best time to upgrade your ride or take care of your current vehicle. And we're making it easier than ever to turn your tax refund into turbocharged buying power. Accelerate into a newer used vehicle or get essential repairs and maintenance done. Plus, with Heiser's exclusive Safe and Sound program, you can buy and service with confidence, convenience, and peace of mind. Visit Heiser.com today.
See dealer for complete details.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristin Brey.
I'm Brian Noonan. And Kristin, you were a teenage girl at one point.
I was.
But thankfully, there probably wasn't a lot of social media back then, was there?
No, I think the soonest I had anything was MySpace, and I think I was like 18 or 19 when I finally got that.
See, you're already starting to, get your adult mind.
And then you had to be
going.
on a computer to do it.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't MySpace on your phone.
Thank goodness. Well, since the dawn of social media, there have been countless articles, and everybody's got an opinion on teens and social media, how they're affected by it, how they use it, and specifically its effect on girls. Well, the only thing that seemed to be missing from all of these conversations was input from actual teenage girls. So Dr. Kate Phelps, she said, I don't want to deal with this anymore. She wanted to remedy that. In her new book, Digital Girlhood, Dr. Phelps actually spoke to adolescent girls about social media. She is a University of Wisconsin-Madison Women and Gender Studies researcher, and she joins us now to share what she found. Dr. Phelps, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure.
So you've said in the past that you thought the way society talks about young girls and social media is too simplistic. What did you mean by that, and how did you come to that conclusion?
Well, I think certainly social media is something that is still very infantile in our understandings of it and its impacts. And I was struck by, in particular, a lot of attention that was being paid to how it was impacting girls, and particularly adolescent girls that are in this sort of tween category. Because I think it's important to note that a 13-year-old is not a 17-year-old. Those ages, those experiences are really very different. But a lot of the response to seeing adolescent girls online has been around a lot of fear around things like body image, around risk-taking or reputation, or how girls are posting and maybe being reckless in how they're posting. And I thought that alarmist response was really not engaging a very nuanced or even full picture of how this group of people, how girls are using social media, how they're participating on it, and more to the point, what they think and feel about it. So I really wanted to set out to hear from those girls themselves, because they are among the first generations to really grow up with having been involved and visible on social media in a way that my generation and other generations did not experience that. Very, very similar to what you said, Kristin, was my experience was when it started with MySpace, right? And Facebook was only available for college students when it first started in 2004. And the original idea of Facebook was to rank college girls on their attractiveness. I know. So it was not the behemoth that it has come to be. But I think it's really important to recognize that marginalized groups and girls have been online and a part of these spaces from the very beginning, and they have a lot to say about it. Yeah.
So when we talk, like you said, and I think that is an important distinction. I think about that all the time as your age now. Like once you're in your 30s, you're like, I don't know, you 33 or you 39? Like we're all the same. But 13 and 17, very different. And so why was it important for you to focus on the younger side of the like 10 to 13 middle school age girls versus the impacts of, sophomore, junior, senior girls in high school?
Sure. Thank you. That's a great question. A lot of the research that we do have is focusing on if they are talking to people that are under the age of 18, if they are talking to minors in terms of research, do seem to be focused more on that upper teen age category. And that's really important. I mean, certainly we need information from that demographic as well. But what struck me was we really don't have much data on people under the age of 13, and yet they are very visible. They are prolific on social media. But under the Children's Online Privacy and Protection Act, under COPA, they are 13 and under are protected, and they're often not included in the survey data. Some of that is starting to shift a little bit because there's recognition that even though you're not supposed to be on social media until you are 13 years of age, people are finding ways around that.
Right.
I mean, young girls are very, very much a presence online and often have been since they were quite young children. And some of that is through parental facilitation, through how we're posting images of children online. There's a visible presence and a part of life that is felt from very early on, because I think it's important to remember that most people at this point are participating on social media in some way, shape, or form. It is very much a part, a reflection of our social lives and how we are engaging with it. And so I think we're really laying that bare for our young people, that it's a big part of how we communicate, and girls are active in that. They participate in that, but we don't have a whole lot of information about what they have to say about it, what they say the impacts are, what they like about it, what they don't, and what their experiences have been, which the overall takeaway, I don't want it to say, the overall takeaway that I found is that maybe there's less cause for concern in that girls have a pretty keen sense of how to navigate these spaces.
See, because that would go against my daughter is older, so she's she's on her own as far as social media goes. But a lot of us think that when the younger the kids, they're just posting whatever they want. They're not putting that much thought into the deeper ramifications. So your findings that's not accurate then, right?
I am finding that that's not accurate. I think it's a balance, Brian, of how how girls are engaging with social media participation, some of it really is mundane, and they're posting images of themselves, of something they ate, of little brothers, of family members. It's this sort of normalized function in their lives where there might not be a tremendous amount of thought put into everything that they post. But an important part of that as well is that they are being really strategic about what they make public and what they keep private. And for the most part, the girls that I spoke with, and I talked to 26 tween girls between the ages of 10 and 13, and I really did hear a lot of shared themes and sort of shared narrative around, I choose to make this public. Let's say, for example, this was back when TikTok was Musical.ly. This was before Musical.ly kind of was merged into TikTok. And they would post publicly because that was really the energy and the ethos of the platform, was to have fun and be silly and sing and dance and make themselves visible on that platform. Or YouTube, for example. I talked to girls about how they had interest in things like dance or video games. There was a girl that I spoke to who would play video games and offer her commentary while she was playing them on her YouTube channel, which is a very male-dominated space. So I thought that was super interesting that that's something she had found her way to when she was really young. But they are savvy in the sense that they're thinking about, this is something I'm choosing to make public, that I'm sharing with a wider audience. But by far and away, girls are participating on social media with people that they know in physical space, with close circles of friends on Snapchat, in sharing images, in putting TikToks together. They really are very cognizant about who they follow and who follows them. And they've learned that through conversations with parents, with caretakers, with stakeholders, and they really do. It makes me. This is some of the nuanced element, because I have a son and a daughter, both of whom are not on social media yet. They are young, but there's this feeling that the girls shared with me that they've been conditioned to be afraid of online space, and this idea of who may be watching them, which I think says more about how we situate girls and women in media than it does about what girls themselves are posting online, right? This idea that there's danger awaiting them in online space. I think we need to have a very different conversation about why that would be dangerous for them, while also at the same time absolutely having open dialogue and conversations with caretakers and adult stakeholders in girls' lives, because they are digitally literate in a lot of ways because they've grown up with it differently, but they still need guidance.
Well, Doctor, unfortunately, we got to get to the news. Dr. Kate Phelps is our guest. The book is Digital Girlhood. Dr. Phelps is a UW-Madison Women and Gender Studies researcher. This is fascinating. Everybody with a younger daughter should read it. And now that you have a son, Dr. Phelps, hopefully down the line you get one for the boys too, because I know they're having trouble as well, or concerns as well. So thanks very much. We will talk to you again, I'm sure. Let's do this. Then there's more. It's Spanning the State.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, we profile the average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning that they'd be saving a life, becoming everyday heroes.
There, yeah, she flew off the road right at a bridge, so she went down an embankment. No one could see her vehicle until a guy named Johnny Martinez happened to come by.
I said, "Ma'am, how long have you been here?" And she said, "I've been here since Wednesday night." And I said, no, it's today's Tuesday.
Everyday Hero, Thursdays at 6:40. Presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. They're the best. Let them make outdoor living unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. For a limited time, enjoy exclusive seasonal rates starting at $139. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
I'll have to get that book. I think I got a little time before I'm worried about Frankie and the social medias of it all.
Yeah.
But
I am so glad that Molly was a little later in all of this and didn't have to.
I just feel like I saw a take recently. Do you ever seen the train takes where the guy interviews people on the train? He goes, "What's your hot take?" And someone was like, "We all need Sundays, no internet.
I like that.
Just shut it down. No internets for anyone on Sundays because everyone needs a break."
Well, we will take a break because ABC News and local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The White House pushing back on criticism over the military operations group text with high-level defense and intel cabinet members that accidentally included a journalist on the chat. ABC's Jay O'Brien says Director of National Security Tulsi Gabbard and CIA Director John Radcliffe were reportedly on the chat and talked about U.S. strikes on Yemen.
Both Gabbard and Ratcliffe said that the group chat, in their assertion, did not contain any classified information. It remains to be seen if that's fully accurate, only because Jeffrey Goldberg, the reporter who was added into that group chat, said it contained plans for those strikes.
The conference board shows consumer confidence has dropped to a 12-year low due to concerns over tariffs and economic uncertainty. The deadline for most Americans to file their 2024 income tax returns is 3 weeks from today, but a growing number of those taxpayers may decide to skip it this year. They're showing a fewer returns so far than this time last year. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:31. I'm John Mercure. Decision Wisconsin. Today marks 1 week until the spring election. In-person absentee voting is underway, with Thursday being the last day to request an absentee ballot. You can register to vote in person at your local clerk's office until Friday, or at your polling place on Election Day. Bring a photo ID and proof of residency. Election Day is Tuesday, April 1st. Milwaukee police need help finding a critically missing 16-year-old. Paris Love was last in contact with her family 8 p.m. on Sunday. She went missing near Cass and Ogden. MPD described Love as a black female, 5 foot 2 inches tall, weighing 115 pounds, with brown eyes and light brown hair. She's believed to be wearing a black hooded sweatshirt with bold white lettering on the front and gray pants. For photos, visit WTMJ.com. And a revival could be brewing in Milwaukee's Walker's Point neighborhood. Sarah and Mike Halstead are planning to reopen Mobcraft Brewing 4 months after Wisconsin's first crowdsourced brewery shut its doors. The couple says an opening date is dependent on receiving all of the needed approvals, but a target has been set for May. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update, a mixed bag right now. The NASDAQ is up 51 points. The Dow is down 66. The S&P is flat. It's even right now. Checking out the roads. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Pretty quiet afternoon out there. No significant delays or slowdowns. Everything's in the green. Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 28. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a high of 47. Thursday, mostly cloudy, 54. Friday, we get up to 65 degrees with a chance for rain. Saturday, chance for rain, a high of 56 degrees. Right now in Madison, mostly sunny and 45 degrees. In Green Bay, lots of sunshine and 38. In Milwaukee, it is partly cloudy and 41 degrees. I'm John Mercure, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:33.
Hey, boaters!
It's a boater's do-it-yourselfer's dream store. Kendor Marine stocks thousands of boat parts and supplies. Just about everything you'd ever need to keep your boat up and running. Whether it's common or something you think might be discontinued, you can bet on us having it. So don't be surprised when we have just what you need. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey boaters!
Some call them oddball parts, but we call them a huge part of our inventory. Dave Doro here from Kendor Marine. With thousands of boat parts and supplies stocked right here in our store, you won't have to look elsewhere. If you need it, chances are we got it, along with expert advice to get your job done right. Hey, boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, moms, dads, grandparents, what are your plans for spring break? WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea for you. With no school this week, you need an outing. Take your kids, take your grandkids to the amazing Mind Chef restaurant and entertainment center in Hartford for hours of safe and super affordable fun. I used to take my daughters there all the time. My nieces and nephews, too. They loved it. I loved it. The Mind Chef has a world-class game room, over 70 games, including the most popular and easiest games, even for the youngsters. Today through Thursday, kids 5 and under eat free from the kids' menu. Monday and Thursday, when you buy one pizza, your second pizza is always free. Wednesday and Friday, the all-you-can-eat fish fry is $7.99. What a value. The Mind Chef will entertain your kids this week during spring break, especially your teenagers. Grandparents, spend time with your grandkids at the Mind Chef. They're going to love it. Downtown Hartford and off the highway in Oshkosh. Just walk in. It's big food. It's big fun. It's incredible. It's the amazing Mine Shaft.
Please, please, please. Hear that? That's shady Brad Schimmel on his knees begging for money from wealthy billionaires who want to buy Wisconsin's Supreme Court.
I have to crawl around begging people.
And the more Brad Schimmel begs,
please, please, please,
the more they shell out. Because everyone knows shady Brad Schimmel is for sale.
I have to crawl around begging people.
After all, Schimmel cut a crooked plea deal with a man caught with child pornography. After his lawyer gave Schimmel thousands in campaign cash. What could have been a 25-year sentence was dropped to just 3 years for that sick predator. So it's no wonder billionaires want shady Brad Schimmel on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. They've seen Schimmel help his campaign donors, just like he did for that criminal's lawyer.
I have to invest in knee pads.
Brad Schimmel, if you're listening, get up off your knees. You're embarrassing yourself. Paid for by the Justice Project.
Please, please, please.
Not authorized by any candidate or candidate's agent or committee.
Please, please, please.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I'm Kristin Brey. And prior to the Trump administration, there was an understood precedent that the federal government can ask local law enforcement for help on immigration, but it is up to them to decide how much to cooperate. Now, with the Trump administration ramping up U.S. immigration and customs enforcement, or ICE, operations, and Republican state lawmakers pushing for more collaboration, sheriffs could play a key role in how immigration is enforced here in Wisconsin. So how do Wisconsin sheriffs feel about it? Well, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel and USA Today Network Wisconsin surveyed all 72 sheriffs in Wisconsin about their views and policies on immigration enforcement. So the two lead reporters on that were Gina Castro, who's a public investigator reporter, and Eva Wen, who is a data reporter. And they join us now in the studio. Thanks for joining us, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
So I guess before we get into what the response was from the sheriffs, what is the help that ICE would want from a sheriff's office? Oh, is your mic on? Just making sure.
So there are a few ways that ICE can help sheriffs, or sheriffs can help ICE.
Oh, can you hear her? Okay, let's try it again. Sometimes that mic is a little tricky. Try it again. There we go. Now we can hear you.
Cool. So yeah, there are a few ways that sheriffs can help ICE. One of them is through a program called 287G, where they can certain staff of the sheriff's department can be deputized as ICE officers after certain trainings and perform certain functions. And some other ways sheriffs can collaborate with ICE include, holding immigrants after, their scheduled release date in their jail, or they can, contract with ICE to hold immigrant detainees, which is different from, their jail detainees in their jails.
Got it.
So there, as we mentioned, there's 72 sheriffs in Wisconsin. How hard was it to get them to cooperate, and how many of them actually did respond to your request for comment?
It was quite a feat. We had, the Journal Sentinel working on it, the Green Bay Press Gazette, and Appleton Press Post Crescent, and we had an intern from Northwestern University. So it's about 11 of us. We divided all of these 72 counties, and then we did 3 waves of reaching out to them, more than 3 waves probably. We had them answer our round 1 questions. We tried calling, emailing them to answer those questions. Then we sent them a survey and to get them to answer those questions. Then we kept calling and emailing beyond that if they weren't responding. And we got about 56 in total to either send us their policy or respond to some of our round 1 questions or the survey that we sent. And then the rest didn't respond or just fully declined.
Just fully declined? Did they give a reason?
There were some mixed bags.
Yeah, some of them kept pushing back a date to respond, saying like their sheriff isn't available. Sometimes some of them just, said we don't have an immigration policy and we're not required to answer your questions. That sort of thing.
Which is true, right? They're not required to have an immigration policy, and they. I mean, it's mostly for the transparency of if they would want to be more upfront with their feelings on it. It's just up to their discretion. It's not like an open records request or anything like that.
Well, the policy part would be an open record request. Okay. So a lot of them just at least did that part.
Okay.
For the ones who didn't have a policy. But some people who didn't have a policy did answer at least a few questions.
Okay. So of the 56 who did respond, or you got some kind of information from, was there any kind of overwhelming sentiment that everyone shared, or was everything kind of different?
Yeah, so overall, a lot of sheriffs emphasize that this is a federal responsibility, and sheriffs are not able to make immigration arrests, which is, they're legally not allowed to do that. But some sheriffs are saying also, their jails are so small that they cannot hold immigrants for sheriffs for a longer time, or hold immigrants for ICE for a longer time. Or, some of them also said, I would be glad to collaborate with ICE. We're like good federal partners and stuff. So it really varied quite a bit.
Okay.
Did you find any specific or interesting trends as far as parts of the state or how populous a county was as far as how the sheriffs responded?
A little bit. We had 9 counties that told us they didn't have a policy, and that included like Walworth and Calumet, and those counties have like under 200,000 population. So I guess it kind of made sense why it wasn't completely on their radar.
Well, and that's kind of my question. So in the article you referenced that it's estimated that there's around 70,000 living undocumented immigrants in Wisconsin. I don't know how you get to that number, but people have tried to do the math. And so across the state of almost 6 million people, that's not a lot, but I would have to assume more are in the southeast region, largely just because that is the most populous region of the state, maybe some in Madison. So that leaves a lot of the counties that probably this isn't an issue at all. And so I wondered how much that kind of overlapped with the either further north or very small populous counties, like if there was just kind of a shrugging of shoulders of this isn't going to really pertain to us.
Mm-hmm.
Did that come up at all?
Yeah, it definitely came up. Yeah. But some of Wisconsin is such a large agricultural state that a lot of undocumented immigrants are the actual farm workers in our state. So there are some sheriffs from like more rural Wisconsin that said, they have heard concerns from farm owners about, roundups and stuff if they will lose their workers.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, last week, the Assembly passed this bill that probably isn't going to go anywhere, but it would compel sheriffs to cooperate with ICE. The governor said if it makes it to his desk, he's not going to sign it anyway. So what happens from there? Is it going to remain each county's individual policy? So we're basically not going to have any change?
So that's what would happen if the governor does not sign the bill into law. So the sheriffs will still have, legally their discretion to decide whether or not they collaborate with ICE or not. An immigration offense is actually, not a criminal offense. It is a civil offense. So, like when we say undocumented immigrants are criminals, that is actually not a valid statement. But we are, so the sheriffs do have the discretion to, think about this collaboration, but we are seeing more counties enter this 287G agreement where they will, collaborate with ICE more and, deputize some of their staff to do some enforcement actions.
Got it. We're sitting here in Milwaukee County. What's the policy here?
Yeah, here in Milwaukee, they don't ask people at traffic stops about their immigration status. They only do that in their county jail, but they don't fact check that. So they just ask for you to write that down, but they don't actually ask that or verify if it's true. And then for crime victims or witnesses of a crime who happen to be undocumented, they don't have to provide that information. They don't ask that information. So they should feel safe to report, crimes.
Just a final question before I let you guys go, was there any for the sheriffs that actually did sit down for an interview or answer questions beyond writing down a survey, anything that stood out to you as far as their concerns or their thoughts about this?
One thing I did find surprising is back with that crime victims and crime or witnesses of crimes. We had only 16 sheriffs actually respond to our survey part, and 12 of them did say that they would not ask a crime victim their status and would not report that to ICE. But many of the other, total of 56, but many of their policies didn't actually answer that question. So that's still open-ended. I was kind of surprised.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, they do have a section where they say, we want to encourage crime reporting and stuff. So we will treat crime reporters equally, but that does not guarantee, they will not ask for immigration status or anything like that.
Yeah, they often had another policy added on there that any officer could still report that to ICE if they chose.
Got it. All right. Well, really interesting feat that you guys got. You at least tried to get all 72 sheriffs in Wisconsin to get their view on this. But Gina Castro is a public investigator reporter for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and Eva Wen is a data reporter for Journal-Sentinel. Thank you so much for being here today,
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, we'll come back with more after this.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. With spring in the air, a young man's fancy turns to ceiling fans. And at BBC, he'll see all the best quality fans and their newest styles. The new fan electronics provide a great method of moving air, and with LED lights, they use less electricity than ever. We have fans in all sizes, from 24 to 96 inches wide, and their motors are warranted for life. At BBC, we advise you on the right fan for your needs, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. We're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and on Saturday 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Are you concerned with AMD? Now protecting your eyes is easier thanks to New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements, available now at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com.
When you breathe well, you live better. Find out more at AdventKnows.com.
When the prodigal son ran out of money and was eating from the pig trough, he didn't have much hope things would get better. However, the son's father welcomed him home with open arms. This is Archbishop Jeffrey Grob. During this Jubilee year, the Holy Father has asked us to be signs of hope for others. For the poor and the elderly, a sign of hope could be a meal, a visit, or even just a warm smile from one stranger to another. This Lent, let's show others this kind of hope and share the love of Jesus. Please join us at Mass.
Don't think twice. Call Dice.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geiss's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geissdoors.com. Geiss has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geiss at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geiss. Visit them online at geissdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Dice.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Oh, my goodness. It is spanning the state.
It is spanning the state. I was trying to see if we got any updates on the text leak. Is it a leak?
It was a breach because it wasn't leaked.
If you get invited into the group chat, is it a leak?
It's not a leak because, like you said, Goldberg was invited in. He was in there. He wasn't hiding. Nobody slipped him the information confidentially. He was brought in. And
That's what I mean. That's why it's like, I don't know. What word do we even have for this?
A complete and total screw up. A security breach would be probably the best way to do it. Now, since we talked about it, the latest is that the president is coming out and saying that no, there was no classified information shared on that signal chain. He is saying that his national security advisor, Mike Walls, is great. He's praising them and the whole team. Earlier, Tulsi Gabbard and CIA head Ratcliffe were in front of the Senate. They were supposed to be there on a foreign terrorism hearing, but it turned into a hearing on this text debacle. And they all said also that there was no classified information, but there's a delineation between civilian-run departments like the CIA and military classified information. So what may not be classified for the CIA is definitely classified by the military. And so that's where some hairs were being split during the hearings today.
The other thing that I was just thinking about as far as last week when we were talking about Sunshine Week and open records law and how so much information we are, as citizens, as journalists, you can have a request for an open records request. Is it legal for them to be doing Signal? Like as far as like things that need to be documented eventually, maybe redacted, maybe classified, but having conversations that disappear over Signal, is that not some kind of failing?
Yeah, everything I've been reading today and yesterday says yes, that these conversations should have been held either in the Situation Room at the White House or in one of the secure locations in one of their departments.
Yeah.
They have those like yurts that they travel with that are security. So it was all supposed to be handled in there. But once again, we have the administration has reverted to blaming the Atlantic for this whole thing. It's the Atlantic's fault because they dared to listen on a conversation they were invited to join. That's odd.
All right, let's do this, and then we'll come back and hand it off to Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
Wisconsin winters are unpredictable.
This is history. Never had a tornado touchdown in February.
We keep you updated on blizzards.
Winter storm warning has been issued for all of southeast Wisconsin, and it's going to get really, really dicey.
Blackouts.
Tens of thousands of customers across southeast Wisconsin are without power this morning.
Icy roads.
Very, very slick conditions pretty much everywhere.
And more. With WTMJ Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts. On air and at WTMJ.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. At a member, new car dealers have factory-warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are as low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
The most common reason pain sufferers come to us is to be able to perform their daily tasks without suffering through them. Grandparents who want to be able to take their grandkids on walks and to the park. Or those that just want to be able to get out of their vehicle with more ease than pain. Rejuvenex pain treatments can help, and the sooner you get to calming down that pain, the better it will be. These are powerful, FDA-approved pain treatments precisely administered with an extremely small needle to get to the root of your pain. And before you know it, you'll feel the anti-inflammatory power of Toradol and the cushioning relief of hyaluronic acid. Positive patient results are regularities, not rarities. And we do this conveniently in office, so it's very easy for you. And we're in network with most insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid, which could mean zero out-of-pocket costs for your pain relief treatment. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
I believe it's time for me to fly.
Fly like a bird. That's Forrest Gump was on last night.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
And did you watch the whole thing,
I did not
Jenny?
watch the whole thing, but I did watch some of it. Because I saw that movie when I was first a kid, and there was a lot of things I didn't understand. And now a lot more I do understand.
Now you know why Mama was getting him into school. All right. Well, that's good. It's good to know these things. All right, we got to get out of here. Wisconsin's Afternoon News is next.
See ya.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand.